Hey everyone, it's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Thursday, April 18th. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, we're going to go over before and after photos of my new Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO short-term rental. I mentioned this a few times on my videos, and I haven't been as active both on YouTube and in the POW Group private community. Should be back to business here next week, and my daughter's just over 2 months old now, so it's been pretty hectic getting this. I'm definitely tired. I'm definitely glad it's over. The worst part is over, so to speak, with assembling all the furniture and getting everything in order and going and picking everything out. But it was super fun. It was my first time actually doing it from scratch, and I did it all myself. I bought another property. It was an Airbnb property, my first one, and it came fully furnished, minus a few other little minute details, but I was able to, finish the rest myself. And, I hurt my hand in the process as well, my wrist. I think I sprained my wrist. I was basically assembling a table, and I was doing it all myself. And sometimes, you just got to be a little bit extra careful. And it seems to be better now. I had ice on it and everything, but I think I just had like a minor sprain on my left wrist. But yeah, the worst part is over, and it's looking fantastic. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section below. I'll go over the before and after. And like I said, a bunch of people were asking for some photos, so I thought I'd do a video. And that's something that I've been focusing on a lot lately, has been Airbnb short-term rentals. The cash flow is insane. This property, all said and done, I'm paying like $900, just under $1,000 a month for my total expenses. And the cash flow is around 300%, sometimes even higher than that. So if you can spend, $900 to $1,000 and bring in $2 to $3, maybe even $4,000 a month, that's some pretty good ROI and cash flow. So before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward, and going to be giving away an annual membership to the POW Group private community. It's valued at $150. You go to the community tab on YouTube, scroll down. I'll be giving that away on Saturday on 420 in celebration of the holiday. Germany and Florida on the ballot for 2024. So good luck to the winner. So we'll jump into the before photos. I posted this in the POW Group private community as well, so people already got a sneak peek at this. But this was a property that I looked at actually when I bought my original Airbnb, which I'll show you in a moment. I looked at them both at the same time, and one being already furnished, I paid a little bit more, and it was already it was just cookie cutter, right? It was already furnished. I had to get an extra mattress or whatever, but basically most of it was already, like, down to the pots and pans and everything. So it was very cookie cutter. And then I was able to set it up in less than a week, get it running. Basically I installed a smart lock on my old Airbnb, or my first Airbnb, and then I did something similar here, and then security camera I did on the outside of the door as well. So I had some minor details that and setups, but nothing too extravagant. Basically a desk, and it was one trip to IKEA and I was done. Whereas this one I had to get the whole shebang. As you can see, there's nothing in here, right? So I had to get everything, and I did have a general idea of what I wanted, but it just all came together super nicely. And I kind of used my existing Airbnb, like my first one that I had, as a blueprint, because you'll see that the units are actually the same. They're like the exact same layout. They're a little different with regards to maybe the bedroom, I guess, and a couple of other small details, but you can see here this was the finished product. So I'll bring up the actual Airbnb listing here, and you can see all of the photos. And I'll just go back here for a second. So on Airbnb, I'm a super host, 2 years hosting now, and it actually says I've got 135 reviews, but no reviews yet on this one. But yeah, I've got 135 reviews, 4.93 out of 5, so basically a perfect rating. My existing, I only have the one property before this, so this is my second property, but all those reviews were for that first property, none yet on this one. But here is the finished product. So like I said, this was a lot of work. Went to this furniture store, high-end furniture store, got a nice sofa bed and memory foam mattress, which I'll bring up the picture for that in a second. And then went to the brick, got a lot of stuff there. And I got some pretty good deals, actually. This fireplace I got on sale. It has an electric fireplace, and it actually blows off heat as well. And that was one of the complaints in my previous spot, is in the wintertime it gets a little cold. So I was like, oh, this is perfect, a fireplace, and it gives off heat, so it adds that extra heat in there. And then, I get a portable heater as well. But, with some condos, it is hard to to heat some condos, some easier than others, but if you're dealing with electric heat, there's always going to be some issue, in my opinion, with keeping it up to par, so to speak. So that little extra feature was nice, having the fireplace and then heat as well. But yeah, I think it came together really nice. I also had a buddy in Halifax, Nova Scotia, who has a print shop and does canvas prints. So he actually made this for me. And in this photo, you can see the condo building. So this is the downtown cityscape, right, of Edmonton. And I picked this photo up myself, and he printed it off. It's 4 foot by 3 feet. And then, like I said, you can see it's almost like Where's Waldo condo edition. And in that photo that he made me, you can see the actual condo building where my Airbnb is. So it's pretty sweet. And then, like I said, I got this from my buddy in Halifax, so support local. And then I ordered these on Etsy, the Carpe Diem sign. So essentially it means, it's Latin for seize the day. And then in my other Airbnb, I think it's pronounced Moltlucci. So basically what this means is seize the day. And this was already there when I bought my first Airbnb. So I like the idea of keeping that going. It's almost like my signature. And then I like the meaning. So Moltlucci is kind of like a perfectionist. It's like perfect planning and lighting, project planning, and also lighting. And then with this one, it was seize the day. So a little bit of a little bit of hidden message, subliminal messaging, right? But overall, I think it ended up really well. So here's, basically as you walk in the door, I added a smart lock on there as well. I didn't actually install a camera on this one. I don't think Airbnb actually doesn't want you to do cameras inside the unit, which I never did anyway, but on the outside of the unit, it's fine. I think there's cameras pointing at the elevators anyway, so that's pretty much all I needed. I also got this cabinet here for free. So there's tons of things that you can do to try to, get this, to get an Airbnb up and running for a very low cost. And to be honest, I didn't spend that much. Like, to fully furnish this whole thing, I might have spent $5,000. So overall pretty good, and just a lot more work, right? I had to do a lot of assembling. Even to get this fastened to the wall was pretty difficult, not gonna lie, but I was able to power through it. Like I said, I hurt my hand, so I was trying my best to not hurt it even further. But there's the bedroom there, and it's got a nice dedicated workspace as well with a office chair. And then the bed, oh man, this bed was phenomenal. I went into this high-end furniture store here in Edmonton, and I was like, I'm not getting anything less than awesome, right? It has to be awesome. If it's a sofa bed, like I used to have a sofa bed, and it was just brutal, right? I actually used to sleep on a sofa bed as my full-time bed in my parents' old basement because I was moving in between places, and it was just the most uncomfortable thing ever. And this is actually so awesome. It's memory foam. And when I went into the store, they didn't have any because they sold out. That's how popular it is. So they got one from the warehouse. I went back a couple days later, laid on it, and I was like, oh man, this is unreal. And it's even got like a part on the back where you can lift it up and like a headrest, and you can just like switch in between flat and raised. So it's pretty sweet. And like I said, it's super comfortable. Like I couldn't get over it. And then there's the view there of the River Valley, downtown Edmonton, and right in the financial district. So it's right close to the Rogers Center as well. Table and chairs that I got from the Brick, and like I said, pretty nice fireplace, and the heat that it gives off is actually pretty amazing. So yeah, a lot of work, but glad it's over. And like I said, this is my original Airbnb. They're two very similar units. Well, they're exact same units, just on different floors. But overall, I had a lot of the ideas came from this, and then my own personal touch. And then when it came to the actual designing, I basically picked this all out from scratch. So like I said, it was pretty fun. It was definitely fulfilling, and I'm glad it's over though. I wouldn't want to do that every week or every month or anything like that. I was actually looking at another property that would be an amazing third Airbnb property, but we'll see. I think I'll pump the brakes for at least a year or two, and may look at a third one eventually. But one thing is for sure, tax next year is going to be very time consuming and very much confusing, because I just did my taxes for 2023. And I couldn't get over it. I have 4 condos and 1 Airbnb, and next year I'm going to have 5 condos and 2 Airbnbs. And with Airbnbs, there's a lot of expenses and things like that you have to keep in track of. But it's definitely a lot of work, but it's worth it in the end. And there's no shortcuts to life. So if anybody's interested as well of starting an Airbnb, if you have any questions, there's a link in the description as well. If you use my link, I'll get a kickback. It helps support me in the channel. But you'll also get a bonus as well for signing up as a host. So if anybody has any questions, kind of for me, my experience, or, if you're looking at starting an Airbnb, you're not sure where to start, or, you have some concerns, let me know. I also signed up for Booking.com and VRBO. I really like Booking.com. Like, it's fantastic. That there's a couple small things, like little bugs and things like that in the system, and some things that could use some improving, but they're doing improvements all the time. And I think Booking.com is actually one of the main competitors for Airbnb. I thought it would be VRBO, but there's really not that many people on VRBO or VRBO. I only had like a few bookings last year, whereas Booking.com, I signed up, the last few months of the year in 2023, and I had like almost as many bookings as Airbnb in that same time period. So really giving Airbnb a run for its money, but having multiple different platforms I think is good, and being on 3 platforms is just only going to be that much more beneficial, right? So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you like the design, if you like I said, are starting an Airbnb, if you've ever thought about starting an Airbnb, always love hearing from you. We'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.